In March 1857, a 21-year-old woman named Madeleine Smith stood trial at the High Court of Edinburgh in Edinburgh, Scotland, charged with poisoning her secret lover with arsenic. The evidence against her was overwhelming: arsenic in his stomach. Her own handwritten letters begging him to return the arsenic she had purchased. His death recorded 3 days after she asked him to meet her. The jury deliberated for 1 hour and 15 minutes and returned a verdict of not proven. The uniquely Scottish legal finding that means we believe you probably did this, but we cannot prove it beyond all doubt. Madeleine Smith walked out of the High Court of Edinburgh to cheering crowds. She was 21 years old. She lived to 93. She never discussed the case again. This is one of the most disturbing true crime stories in Victorian history, because the woman at the center of it was never convicted, and the question of whether she should have been has never been resolved. Madeleine Hamilton Smith was born in Glasgow in 1835. Her father, James Smith, was one of the most prominent architects in Scotland, wealthy, socially connected, deeply invested in the reputation of his family. The Smiths were exactly the kind of upper-class Victorian family for whom appearances were everything. Madeleine grew up in their grand Glasgow townhouse and their country estate at Roe on the Firth of Clyde, educated, cultured, and acutely aware of the world she was expected to marry into. In 1855, she met Emile L'Angelier. He was a 31-year-old Guernsey-born warehouse worker, charming, romantic, completely unsuitable for a woman of Madeleine's social position. Her family would never have permitted the relationship. She began it anyway. For nearly 2 years, they exchanged letters in secret, meeting when they could. Emile passing notes through the basement window of the Smith house on Blythswood Square while the family slept. Madeleine's letters to Emile, preserved as evidence and read aloud at her trial, were passionate in a way that Victorian society found completely shocking from a woman of her class and age. She wrote of love. She wrote of wanting him. She wrote things that no Victorian woman of her position was supposed to feel, let alone commit to paper. In 1856, Madeleine's father arranged her engagement to a wealthy merchant named William Minnoch. It was exactly the marriage her family had planned for her. It was also the end of everything between her and Emile. She wrote to him asking him to return her letters. He refused. He told her directly that if she married another man, he would show the letters to her father. The letters would destroy her engagement, humiliate her family, and end her place in the social world she had grown up in. Emile L'Angelier had become a threat. In February and March 1857, Madeleine purchased arsenic 3 times from 2 different Glasgow chemists, signing the poison register each time, explaining to each chemist that it was for killing rats in the country house. This was an entirely ordinary Victorian explanation. Arsenic was commonly used for exactly that purpose. The chemists sold it to her without hesitation. On the 22nd of March 1857, Emile L'Angelier collapsed in his Blythswood Square lodgings in severe abdominal agony. His landlady found him at 2 mm, vomiting, in extraordinary pain, his condition deteriorating rapidly. He died before morning. The post-mortem found 82 grains of arsenic in his stomach. A fatal dose is approximately 2 grains. There was enough arsenic in Emile L'Angelier's body to kill 40 people. The police found Madeleine's letters in his room. She was arrested 3 days later. Her trial opened in Edinburgh on the 30th of June 1857 and lasted 9 days. The prosecution case was strong. The arsenic purchases. The motive. The letters he refused to return. The timing, his final illness occurring on nights when Madeleine's own diary confirmed she had met him. The defense argued there was no direct witness to the poisoning. No one had seen Madeleine give Emile anything, and that Emile might have taken the arsenic himself as a tonic, a practice some Victorian men followed. The jury returned not proven on the 2 main charges. Madeleine Smith walked free. She moved to London. She married twice. She had children. She moved to America in her later years and died in New York in 1928, at the age of 93, never having given a single public statement about the man who died with enough arsenic in his stomach to kill 40 people, and whose letters she had been so desperate to get back. The true crime documentary record of the Madeleine Smith case, preserved in High Court proceedings and Victorian newspaper archives, gives us every fact of what happened. It does not give us a confession. It never will. This has been Dark Verdict. Every case is real. Every detail is sourced. Every verdict is final. Subscribe for a new true crime documentary case every week, and tell us in the comments, guilty or not proven.